You're asking yourself about your sweetheart, your soulmate, your dream partner. If you give him another chance, can you truly trust him again? Or will it just end up being the same as before, just like it was previously? That he might ghost you again, distance himself, block you, go on and off, or be dishonest. So the question is, can you trust him again if you give him another chance? And that's what we're going to look at now. We're tapping into the energy of the present moment, the most prominent energy that wants to reveal itself to answer this question for the collective. And you know, collective readings, the character cards are gender neutral, and a collective reading can't apply to everyone. But I know you'll take what resonates for you and get exactly what you need from this reading. You are wonderful, every single one of you, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart that you exist. Yes, we also got the question from the collective, and you know, you are always very, very welcome to ask a question for the collective, and of course, I always include all of them. Okay, so then I would say, let's get started now, and first of all, a very, very dear and big thank you to all of you. You are so wonderful. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your wonderfully kind greetings in the community, both to each other and to me. Thank you for that. You are sweet as sugar. So let's begin. Let's go. So let's take a closer look at this situation. After everything that has happened, can you truly trust him again if you decide to give him another chance? Is it really possible to rebuild that trust? Or will doubts always linger in the back of your mind? Think carefully about whether the dog, a truly faithful companion, clearly shows loyalty. Here, it means belonging, and he or she already senses something. Because there is something that connects the two of you during the getting to know each other phase. Maybe you have already been in a relationship before, in a marriage, whatever the case may be. But that's what's coming up for him now. What's really going on inside him. And it's something genuinely positive, namely this deep sense of trust and reassurance. It could truly be that you were his or her closest confidant. And above all, also a truly good and supportive friend. The reliability. Maybe he wasn't truly committed to you, always kept things just a bit superficial, and perhaps wasn't really all that reliable either. But there's definitely something here, something going on inside him that really shows a change, something that's clearly occupying his mind. And the main theme, I would say here, is a sense of belonging. He feels something there, belonging, and it has to do with you. And how exactly the change is happening, because that's probably where things went wrong. Reliability, trust, honesty, loyalty. But it's also shown that there's still something inside him, something about you that occupies his mind, this standing by you. Maybe he never really stood by you. And those are definitely issues. So that's not settled yet. Something is still on his mind. We'll see in a moment how the change is, whether you can trust him again. So then we have the mice. Well, that also shows that your loved one is really dealing with a kind of decay. So it's this tormenting feeling that he or she has. Something is also being diminished here. What it is, as I said, we'll see in a moment. And he or she knows that action is needed here. Something happened here. Maybe he kept going into this standstill, withdrawing, and never took action. He left everything behind as if fleeing, he was just gone. But something inside him is also really tearing him apart, you know? Because I really see the worries and the sorrow in him or her. And if we look further, yes, the lilies. With the lilies, what's happening inside is also now connected to harmony. And somehow I'm noticing that the cards have been quite similar lately. That means we have a very intense energy here for the collective. For the person of the heart, something is going on inside them. Something that may have been out of balance, but now they are coming back into balance. We do have activity, And above all, it's also the case that he or she is asking you for forgiveness, that you forgive him or her. It depends on how he presents himself here, right? What he or she wants. Your counterpart is definitely about harmony. This balance, which we already mentioned earlier, is being shown to you again in terms of equilibrium. And a very big theme here is also longing. The longing for harmony. Something is definitely not right with him. But we have wonderful movement here. So regarding the question of whether you can trust him again if you give him another chance, the beginning already looks very promising. Now let's see how things continue here. So right from the start, it's already very clear that he, your counterpart, has caused you worries, maybe even pushed you away again and again. But he is also truly troubled within himself, the worries, this inner turmoil, because you definitely occupy his thoughts. And as for trust, let's take a look right away at what else is revealed here. Your loved one feels deep inside that something has gone seriously wrong here. As I said, the secret. Maybe he didn't stand by you. Maybe he always kept it a secret, or mostly kept it a secret. And maybe he also hurt you, really, really hurt you, because he lied to you, was unfaithful, or didn't stand up for you. No matter what it was about, that's what he can't process inside himself because he feels the connection to you. And now, no matter how long ago it was, I see the past lying between the two of you, no matter how long it's been, as I said, he feels that he really trampled on the happiness he had with you. And when I look at the possibility of a new beginning, whether he gives you another chance, or you give him another chance, or he asks for a chance, no matter how he approaches you again, I see him coming across as very cautious here. Very cautious, because with you, he's kind of approaching things carefully, testing the waters, because he actually assumes that you're going to give him a full-on backlash. But he realizes this is where his guilty conscience comes in, but also the longing, the guilty conscience about what he's done, that he trampled on his happiness with you. And the longing is also there because you gave him so much harmony, so much security. I see the change between the two of you. And if you say for yourself, okay, I'll give you another chance, then that's where we are. But this is a collective reading. I always like to emphasize that. But it does show that, as we can see, he is really proceeding with the change, which is actually a bigger change for him. It may well be that when it comes to the public, or especially when you two are coming together again, this new getting to know each other phase happens because you are meeting each other again on a different level. You have made a change within yourself, and so has the other person. You're already much further along, yes. The other person is still lagging behind a little bit here, you know. He's a bit of a latecomer. So he's not exactly the fastest in the group, you know. I see him more as a bit slow, in slow motion, just taking a look and seeing how things go and so on. So by the time he figures out what's going on here, you've already been several rounds ahead. You've already overtaken him in several laps. But he will definitely get there. And as I said, this cautious approach towards each other, at this point, it looks like he's still keeping it a bit of a secret. Maybe it's in the family circle or among friends. Because, as I said, he still isn't really sure. He's uncertain, and he never really knows how far you're willing to go. You know, whether anything will even come of this. And with him, it's like, well, I have to say, after this reading, I can't exactly put a protective hand over him, because he's just waiting and seeing for now. Because if too many people on the outside know that you two are giving it another try and then it doesn't work out, since he knows what kind of mess he made and now he really can't read you anymore, and if you suddenly whoosh dump him and give him the full blast, then it's like, I'd better wait, because how would that make me look? So I have to say yes after this reading, you know? So he's being a bit cautious. But I can definitely tell you after this reading that he wants this new beginning, this change, this transformation. What was before is now dissolving for me here. His old behavioral patterns are dissolving. He's feeling insecure because this is something new for him as well. He wants stability with you. But the secret that has always been there, or the fact that he's been hiding something, that really won't be the case anymore. And in public, he will also make it known that he is with you. So if right now he's still keeping things a bit secret, being a bit cautious at the beginning, as I said, or maybe not telling you everything just yet. So he's not going to sit down in front of you now and reveal everything, because he's also a bit of a scaredy cat. Yeah, he's wondering what will your reaction be, right? So he's going to do it little by little, you know, step by step. He'll open up a bit, reveal something, say something, because he doesn't want things to be like they were before. He wants to have stability with you. And above all, I also see honesty here. It says here, trust will definitely be rebuilt between the two of you. And that means building up trust. Of course, you don't trust him either, right? So I completely understand you. But he's going to do everything he can to make you trust him. And he will prove it to you as well. It could really be that in your communication, he'll tell you things like, hey, listen, I was just there, I did this, I went shopping, or I did this and that, sharing his daily routine with you so that you're included in it. Or if he replies later, oh, I couldn't because there was such a long line at the checkout, you're naturally always on alert, being cautious and thinking, is that true? Right? You're observing. But it's also completely fine for you to do that. But he won't give up. He will really show you everything to prove that you can trust him. And I don't see him falling back into his old patterns. As I said, it might happen very briefly, just for a moment, that he slips back a tiny bit, really just minimally, because I have all these short intervals here if the old behavior comes back, but not with lying. It's more likely that he just doesn't say anything, you know? But then it's like this, it doesn't let him rest either, because then I see the domestic sphere or something like that, like, no, I really want to be honest now, because he wants to be honest with you. And then it might happen that you get a message from him a few hours later, or even in the middle of the night, either a voice message or a written one, where he really tells you what happened during the day, you know? Different things. So as I said, there are still some small stages like that, but it's not that he's absolutely lying to you here. Or if he does say something and tries to sneak his way through a bit, he'll clear it up again. I also see that the time gap is short. Not weeks later, but really either the same day, a few hours later, or at the very latest the next day, you know? Hey, listen, that actually wasn't quite right, you know? You'll notice it too, because he'll also notice that you're skeptical. And rightfully so. But as I said, he'll try everything to really make you happy here, especially so that you can trust him again. It takes time. It really does take time, you know? And whether you even want that anymore, of course, is another question, right? Because I always see you kind of, well, for quite a while, sort of left in doubt here. But also the fact that he's being cautious, especially when it comes to being public. That could mean family, it could be friends, that he still keeps your connection a bit of a secret for now. Yes, but it will eventually become public. So the way things might have been in the past, it won't be like that anymore. I see it as a positive change. I have everything is deepening. The trust here is growing deeper and deeper. He will do everything for that. And above all, he has the determination to break away from his old patterns of behavior towards you. Above all, he wants to make you happy. He wants more or less, I'd say, to lay the world at your feet and change everything. He will be insecure, and it will be a bit bumpy for him, you know, because finding this balance, as it's called, will take a while to settle in. But that's important too. even if it takes a long time before you trust him again. But that's also a good thing. Moving slowly is like getting to know each other all over again. Because then I see absolute stability between the two of you. And I see a lot of communication. Above all, I see heartfelt communication. I see closeness. I see connection. And also this bonding between the two of you. So here I really see the absolute loyalty that he wants to show you. Above all, after this collective reading, he also wants to or will show you his deep love, that he or she loves you, that it is deep love. I also truly see this declaration of love. I see the connection. I see the change, the stability. The circle is closing in your relationship, in your connection, in your communication. So I also see the personal meetings. I see the communication. I see everything there, and it keeps getting more intense. So even if it starts out small, it becomes more and more and more, right? So even if you then say, okay, now maybe things are just a little bit different again for a short while, it's only brief. Then I see whoosh, the change again, and the positive keeps repeating itself over and over. And it's not staged, it's not an act. So let's take a look at what else we can see here. You can see it for yourselves, dear ones. So for one, we have the flowers. Good. Here too, it's like this, he sees you as a wonderful gift as family. You belong to him. And again, we have harmony, contentment. And that's what he wants, that you really feel the harmony with him. He himself wants to get back into harmony with you. And there are actually quite a few invitations coming your way. So here, even at the beginning, if things don't really seem to be moving forward, as I said, he's simply insecure. I see him here as nervous, a bit, yes, a bit fidgety as well. But then when the knot bursts, and it will burst, there will be one invitation after another coming your way, right? You'll be thinking, oh my God, how am I supposed to fit all of this in? And above all, I see surprises, right? These are things where you'll think, wow, he's never done anything like this before, right? Surprises, for example, or these compliments, like, yeah, and again the invitations, or maybe even cooking for you, something like that, right? These are just examples, but they are wonderful things, surprises. And that's what he wants to give you, because you are something very special to him. And that's what's going on inside him, what he notices, what he feels, and he wants your attention. The attention, he really honestly means what he wants to give you. So what do we have here? The heart. And that really means that love, great love, he wants to give you everything with love. He will give you everything with all his love. Above all, I have the sense of consistency, and that's what he will show you, as well as his affection for you. It could also be that you really say something like, oh, I'm going shopping. Should I bring you something back, right? Or give me your shopping list. I'll go shopping for you. And he really hopes for your understanding here. You will have conversations, even about the past. But here, it's also a question of whether you want to rehash everything all over again, or say, okay, let's close that book now and start fresh. We're writing a new book for the two of us, right? So that real change can come in. And as I said, I see the connection between the two of you. I also truly see the romance here. And that a real cycle is beginning between the two of you. A sense of balance, a lightness between you. And to the question of whether you can trust him again if you give him another chance. According to this reading, definitely yes. And dear ones, I know you will make the right decision for yourselves. And you always look out for yourselves. And you do that wonderfully. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart for watching, and I wish you a wonderfully beautiful rest of your day. Goodbye.